Yeah, so when I was preparing my application for the DTP, I kind of looked on the website and I actually found the posting for the PhD on findaphd.com, which is a lovely website. And yeah, so I looked for information on the supervisors that were leading the project and also some information as to what techniques I'd be doing in the project and the background to see if it would suit my needs and if I wanted to pursue that in any further. So I tried to tailor my answers so that they would match the project and fit very well with that. So I mentioned some transferable skills on my application, including communication and team working, and resilience as well is one of the key skills that you need to be able to do a PhD. The way that you lay out your application, you have to write very short blocks of text and be concise and clear in how you get across your message of how you're capable of demonstrating these skills. One of the ways to do this is using the STAR framework, and this is using the situation, task, action, result, and also maybe evaluate as well how you did in that task to show how you've learned from this. You have to be concise, you have to be clear about why you want to do a PhD, why you want to do that specific project, and be funded by the FoodBioSystems DTP, and how your research can fit within the wider food system. You also have to demonstrate lots of transferable skills, including communication, teamwork, and also resilience, very key things for doing a PhD. So I prepared for interview by researching different questions that might come up during a PhD interview. Before I did my interview for the FoodBioSystems DTP, I was lucky enough to get offered other interviews for some other PhD programs. So I kind of had a bit of practice in hand and knew what sort of answers they were looking for. So I researched the interview panel, the panel that were going to be part of the project. They were actually going to be the supervisors, which was really good to actually have a chat with them about what research areas they were experts in and how they were looking for me to take the project in my own direction. I did do a presentation for my interview. I based this on my Masters by Research, which I conducted before starting my PhD. And I used this to demonstrate the current lab skills and transferable skills that I'd already developed and wanted to progress further within my PhD. I think I've enjoyed the most is that we've been able to do a broad set of subjects, which has given us a lot of opportunities to develop our skills in areas which we might not have known we needed. Particularly statistics and also like programming, which is something that we have to do with my PhD particularly. And also we've looked at how our project fits within the food system. So we did the EIT food project. And then we've also done a lot of team working by doing the Tiger teams, which was very challenging, but because it was a new sort of thing I've never done before. But we got to work in a team with different students from across the partner universities, and we got given a problem by an industry. We worked with the Good Food Institute, and our project was looking at how UK and European farmers could benefit from the transition to plant-based proteins. And it was a completely new area that I'd never researched before, but we produced a report and we did a presentation for their policy team, which was really good opportunity to meet some new people and see how science actually has an impact with policy decisions. So the thing about summer school that I really enjoy is being able to socialise with the other DTP cohorts. We have formed a really nice bond, and I think when we meet up together for just this week to do training and activities together, it's really lovely just to be able to see what other people are doing, research-wise included, all the conferences that they get to travel to, all the prizes that they get awarded, and being able to celebrate with them is lovely. So as a PhD student that suffers with some chronic conditions, I have found it initially challenging to settle in. But I must say, like, Reading is one of the most supportive and friendly network of people that I've ever encountered, and I've been quite lucky to have those people that I can rely on, especially when I have days which are worse than others. I do have periods of illness where I have to miss certain days, and making up for these is something that I am able to do because they've been able to put in place a leave of absence where I can request days off specifically for these reasons. So the Disability Advisory Service based at Reading is really useful for setting up equipment needs and software needs with the Disability Students Allowance. And there's also support that you can get from your supervisors and your mentor, and also just the PhD students in general are very supportive. So for any student that would be applying that also has a disability, I would say it is a massive consideration that you have to factor into the decision, but you can also consider about the support that is in place and what sort of experiences you've had with higher education in the past, whether you know your needs, and if these will transfer over, and they definitely will at Reading. It's very supportive.